Hi beautiful people, welcome back to my channel, guys. Welcome back to my channel, guys. It's been a while, I know, and in my last vlog I did mention of doing like a sequence of events, but it's been so while that I've been MIA. I'm gonna jump one sequence because it just doesn't feel like the right time to talk about that one, and it's like personal, it's like family stuff, and I don't want it to have any reflection on my eldest at the moment, just like him coming across it and watch it, and it, you know, I'm just gonna leave it for now. But in this vlog I just want to say that I did say that if I decide to go ahead and talk about it, you guys would remember, because you know that's one of the reason why I haven't come to you guys and do the, because I just been waiting, putting it off. My bag is in the background. Yeah, but anyhow, and this is a tricky one, guys. This is a really tricky one for me. This has been part of my whole missing in action, just trying to heal and find the right time, you know, find the right time. And yeah, there's so much I want to say, you know, guys. Yeah, the title of this video is right. You know, I had sex with my friend's brother on my last vacation that I went to Jamaica. Guys, I'm in the dark glasses, but it's not because I'm trying to hide. It's not because I'm trying to hide, guys. It's just that I could do with a little bit of makeup. That's how I'm feeling. And yeah, I just thought, you know, this is much more aesthetically pleasing. I'm on the beach, guys, and my dress is such a lovely dress, but the boob area, it can't go any further. So, you know, yeah, but genuinely, I'm not trying to hide like my face or anything like that. So, but this one, I have to come and talk on it because I've been putting it off as well for some time. This probably would have been, if I was doing the sequence of events, probably would be like the third or so. Yeah, but I really feel like I have to share this one before I can start feeling free to come and vlog, because you guys know on my channel I'm very transparent. People probably think that I target a certain mass of people when I speak, but you know, I target even myself. If something happened that I'm not happy with, if you guys go back and watch any one of my vlogs, or you know, you can find things in there, and you know, it's quite open. I've always been open, even if it's my situation. And I kind of wanted to get to a place that I'm not really placing any blame. I'm taking responsibility for my actions and stuff like that. So I needed time to kind of like get into a positive frame of mind, because you know, sometimes us as human beings, we can play the victim card and all of these things. But yeah, when I was in Jamaica, we've always been close. Like prior to this last Jamaican vlog, the Jamaican vlogs before that is when I went to his mom's funeral, because you know, I've been friends with his sister for like through my school years when I was like going to school in Jamaica. So we've been friends for years. You know, sometimes we kind of like drift apart, and other times we're pretty much close. So yeah, I'll give you a little bit of backstory. You know, I remember when I used to go to school, I was like, that's like my closest friends in school. You know, and I've never completely like, I've kept in touch with her more than any of my school friends. That's probably like the only school friend I've kept close contact with throughout the years of my life. And you know, me and her brother had prior, so I'll say that as well. You know, I wouldn't say it's an ex-boyfriend, because to be honest, when I sit and think of a boyfriend, it's long-term, like he probably have a different opinion on that. But for me, I wouldn't really say like it's my ex-boyfriend because it's like from we were young, and then when I used to go back to Jamaica on holiday, we might link up here and there, and yeah, my count of us having sex is maybe like 3-4 times. That's a stretch because in my mind it's probably 2 or 3. But anyhow, yeah, just giving you a backstory. So moving forwards to probably like when we separated, because there was one point when I was like going back and forth, and then he kind of moved on with his life and had a child and had his baby mother, which was younger than me and everything. And I remember the whole thing with that. I kind of felt, you know, you come from the UK, you go back on holiday, you think you're it. Because when I was younger, my days, did I think I was the shit? I did, guys. I really thought I was it. Do you know what I mean? So when I go back now, and I'm older than him, probably like 3 years older than him, and you know, when I went back on holiday and stuff like that, bumping into him, having his baby mother and everything, and the baby was pretty young as well, and you know, I was always like welcome in his house with his, you know, his mom always treated me lovely, and his sister is a great friend of mine as well. Backstory a bit on that, when I used to go to school and just being overly greedy, eating off my lunch and stuff like that. She always give me some of her lunch, and like when I have to get home, she's the one that used to help like fund me to get home and stuff like that. I was like not the best going to school in terms of like discipline wise, you know, and yeah, I used to go in the morning, first thing in the morning. I can't wait to hit the stalls. You know, when you're going into school, those who know, and all the stalls are lined up. I'm there buying banana chips and any, but the key thing I can remember like is banana chips. Yeah, I used to love me some banana chips, man. I used to buy that in the class there, not paying attention to a word of what's going on. Eating the banana chips underneath the desk and ducking at the teacher. If he looks around, I'm just like, and then by the time he's back to the board, I'm there, stuffing my face in the class. And by the time lunchtime, I haven't got no money, man. I've bought out everything. So that's you know, backstory. So she always looked after me. So, you know, when I started traveling, always used to go back to her place and stuff like that. And yeah, so when he had his baby mother and stuff like that, and the baby was very young. When I went, you know, the baby was very young. So he used to like, I used to be in the house regardless, and he used to like want to go see the baby, and the baby mom kind of like know of me and stuff like that. And I'm a bit old as well, so I'm just like, you know, guys, who knows? No, Jamaican people, you know, I'm Jamaican, we're a bit foreign-minded, and so when I'm on spot, it's kind of all about me. But at the end of the day, I remember distinctively, he really tried to be around her as well. And in the end, me using my conscience, I thought to myself, you know what? Because he used to go off at the night to help her out with like the feeding of the baby and stuff like that. And I kind of felt like he chose her, which he had to anyway, to be honest. He you know, like realistically in those times, he had to, you know. So when it came around to me now, like moving forward, I kind of just like think, I did feel some type of way at that point, you know. I did feel some type of way, but, you know, I kept it moving. And I remember when I now was decided that I'm going to get married and stuff like that, it didn't bode well, because I was getting married to my children's dad. So, you know, it didn't bode well with him, but it was very good, because I remember him allowing us to use his car and stuff like that. So, yeah, we have history, You know, we have history. And like I said, so that's like a best way of putting it. We have history. Our first interaction is when we were young, and you used to kind of like be around me, and I used to be like, what are you doing around me? What are you doing around me? Move from around me with, you know, your little piece of thing. You know, like I remember one specific time when we was at the beach, and this is how I was like dealing with him. But when it came down to it, boy, I never had no little piece or no nothing. But anyway, okay. So that aside, and yeah, in the end, you know, his mom knew that we were in things, like in the early stages, and I don't know if I want to go into that a little bit, but like the first time, you know, then that's when I realized that it wasn't working with no tiny thing. So I was cramped up because we was having a little sneaky link, and I had to, you know, tell my friend because I was mashed up, I was in pain, all of these palaver. Okay, so there you have it. Right. So, anyways, going back to the point where I was getting married, and he wasn't happy, but he was very kind. I could see my towel in the background as well. But anywho. Yeah, and there was a time when he had hopes of coming to England, and I thought he was going to come, but, you know, I then now had to choose my baby dad, basically. So that kind of erased that part of it. His sister's even been here in England before, through me and my family and her family, basically, when we were much younger. But anyways, like, going back to the funeral and stuff like that, I was pretty hands-on with that, you know. There's family riff, and I'm just trying to like, so when I went to the funeral, me and him we get close, and we, you know, talk about old stuff and stuff like that. But nothing really never happened, because them times I was more like, on my spiritual journey and more focused, and, you know, there was a new baby mama about as well. So it was like, yeah. So that never happened. And I was doing my own thing. I went off to do vlogs with people and stuff like that. And then, you know, in the end, I was at my friend's house, which is, you know, he lived in the same building in his own section and stuff like that. You know, and we communicate at times through phone calls from here, stuff like that. So we always backing off and forth, and he always like telling me, yeah, you know, I'm the one that got away, this, that, and the other, da, whatever. But, and in that segment of being in Jamaica, the second to last time, he has never tried to make a move on me. I mean, you know, I can understand, you know, his bereavement and stuff like that, but me and him still pretty close, sitting together, you know, hugging on each other, stuff like that. Nothing. We were cool. But he's, you know, he's always like, since I've come back, and even when I was down there, he would say one or two things and stuff like that. So this time now, you know, when I was going down to Jamaica, I was telling him all my plans, thinking to myself in my head, even though I've given him chances after chances, you know, I've given him chances, he does operate as if he don't get chances, but he gets several chances. But there's like trust issue. He seemed to don't really trust me, and I don't trust him, and there's so much grey areas in between. I don't know why he don't trust me, because I've never given him a reason not to trust him. I've always been quite transparent and about myself, so I never give him a reason not to trust me. But when I'll say, when you're a certain type of way, you ain't gonna trust nobody. So let me just put it that way. But anyways, because there was one time in that segment when I was there, the second to last time, I went off like with other social media people, like vlogging and stuff. But I can be around people. It don't mean that I'm interested in them, you know? I'm very specific as who gonna be turning my eyes and my attention. And I wasn't even, like I said, them times my headspace was just trying to get content and meeting up with different vloggers and, you know, be there for the family with the bereavement and all of these things. So my head wasn't in no money. My head never really been in no money business. I've been with my son dads for years. We've separated and everything, but for years I've never been like a money type of a girl. I'm not frightened for man, you know. I do seem to, when I'm looking, because I'll say I pride myself in that segment of life, not to be looking. I'll just be minding my own business. So, but, you know, there's time when I was younger and even, you know, you looking. But I can tell her the last time I looked. Anyways, so the last time, which was in February, March, when I was in Jamaica, when I got down, you know, there was all talks of family kind of being a bit, maybe it's good to have like a man around and stuff like that. And, you know, I'm close to him. In my mind. So I'm thinking, oh yeah, he's the best person to have around and like pick me up from the airport, because I like to have my own people, even though my sisters, they have their own people as well. We all have our own people, but I feel comfortable with my people. So the deal was like, which he knew before I landed, that he's going to meet up and he's going to be responsible to take me up to where I'm going and all of these things. It was late and stuff like that, so we decided, I said he can't travel back because it's so late and it's the first time he's ever been to my country, stuff like that. So we decided we're going to stay there, and it was a good thing in a way, like we just basically going back to the house, we by ourselves, even though we got family members, you know, around. In the actual house, it would have just been me and my two other sisters. So we was like, okay, cool. I don't have no problem sharing bed with him, because even if I'm at my friend's house, which, like I said, he has his own room and all of these things at the house as well. I tend to, even if I'm going to be chatting up with my friend and hanging out with her, I tend to gravitate to him. Because after a while, when we first kind of like had that first initial sexual contact, I've kind of always kind of been the one always gravitating. Anywhere he is, I just want to be there. I just want to be in his presence. I just want to be around him. So even when I was in Jamaica in the second to last time, I'll just always, once I'm up there, I'm going to want to kind of be around him, even though I'll go and do things with my friend and whatever, because when I went to the funeral, my eldest boy was with us as well. So we do things, but once I'm up at the house, I always tend to go off and go be wherever he is, because he work at the back of the house. Just trying to get every little thing in there. I'm not even sure where I'm at now. But, so, yeah, I know where I'm at. Plane landed, we come out of the airport, we met up and everything, and we, long and short of it, we made one stop, and then we all went up to where my sister has her house in the country. And, yeah, so me and him pretty much share a room. But sharing a room, to me, that is nothing. That is nothing like sharing a room. I wasn't thinking nothing. I wasn't feeling sweet. You know, even though we had chats to say that I'm open to see where things could be, the whole sex thing was like the last thing on my mind. And like I said, he never showed me any attention like that when I went there the last time, to like try to gravitate to me too much. But all of a sudden this night now, he's gravitating to me and like trying to touch me up, and I'm blown away now. I'm thinking in my mind, mate, what's going on? This is even my first time in my sister's house. You think I'm going to be there doing anything? You know what I mean? Even though I'm an adult, what kind of woman do you take me for? You think I'm going to be coming disrespecting my sister's yard, there hugging up, kissing and doing any nasty in my sister's house? I think not. So I kind of shunging him off, and I'm thinking, like, literally, the room is here, and one of my sisters literally there as well. And apart from like the fact that, like I said, I was blown away. I was blown away. I couldn't believe what was going on. But, you know, in my mind, I'm thinking, mate, me, I don't do that. I don't do that. Me, when I'm doing them kind of things, I have to be comfortable in my own kind of environment, or, you know, wherever it's going to be, I have to be comfortable. You know, I'm too old for a quickie or a sneaky piece or and complete disregard to everybody else. You know, for all, leading up to now, the only person that's been close to me for how many years was my son's dad. So I was like, mate. But anyway, shoved him off and stuff like that, you know, and we went to sleep. When I got up in the morning, he was a bit funny, like, oh, you diss me, da-da-da-da-da. And I'm just like, I don't think that's a diss. I said, how could you even think I'd be doing anything like that here? You know, this is my first time at my sister's yard as well, mate. Hello. And, you know, it's not the done thing. Like I said, I ain't young. I'm not looking to go do nothing in my family's member's house. I don't feel that way inclined. But all of a sudden now, in my mind, I'm thinking, okay, cool. All right then, you think I don't want you, or I'm not interested in you in that way. Yeah, you could be right. But like, okay, how many times have I proved to myself that I'm willing to give you a chance if you're serious? And you show me that you're not serious. So what's going on? But I thought to myself, this time I'm going to like go ahead. If I go to his house and he tries anything again, I'm ready. This is what I'm telling my brain. And everything that, like, when you're thinking about, like, from the godly aspects and everything, I'm just like shouting, everything's popping up in my head. I'm deleting it, deleting. Anything that pops in my head towards me changing my mind or getting in, I'm cutting it off. I'm just, you know, cutting it off. I don't want to know. Anything like that, I'm going to show him, yeah, I'm ready. I will go that far. So, I ain't going to go into no details. Like I said, anytime he reach for me, I'm ready. And that's what. And I'm thinking, yeah, let me see. I'm going to see if I can work with this, because I don't even know if I can work with your thing. You know what I mean? I don't even know. I'm used to big things, but I don't know if I can work with your thing. This is what I'm thinking. So do me and you have a future? But I'm not gonna downer anything or say anything negative in it. I was quite happy, thinking, okay, cool. We done it, cool. We done it, cool. But everything just switched. My mood switched. He's acting funny. Like, mate, for me, I don't want to be disrespectful. I'm taking accountability. I'll tell you guys straight up what I was on, and I made up my mind. But when it was said and done, I'm kind of not now thinking, how do we move forward? Can I move forward with you? Because, pardon, you're not showing me what it takes to have me interested in you moving forward. Because, you know, no little check on, I should just be a thug. Like, no little hugs, no little... Mate, that ain't me. And then when we got on the road, we were having conflict. You know, and then there was time when we talk it over. We laugh, we joke, and all of the little negative in between, we talk it over. Because there's one point I just tell him to drop me off at my brother's, and I'll call up my sister's driver, and I just went to the country. That's before we talked everything over. And as soon as I get into the country, I didn't waste no time telling one of my sister, because it's not like I didn't want to, it's not like I'm hiding or having a dirty secret and stuff like that. I tell my sister, and then I ended up telling my mom and stuff like that. And, you know, I knew at some point I had to let Russell know that, yeah, that's it now. I've gone and slept with somebody now. So, yeah, that's where it's at, basically. But that took me some time. You know, I had to do like some 2 to 3 weeks after I come back. I just tell him, listen, mate, I've got something to tell you. Stick a pin and I'll circle you back. Well, yeah, it took me, because I didn't know that the whole thing messed me up so much until I came back. I didn't know it messed me up until I came back, because I was so focused on nothing is ruining me having a good time in Jamaica. Nothing is getting in the way of me having a good time in Jamaica. I don't business, because after all that, like I said, we talk it out, we laughed it off and stuff. I went and see them, bring stuff and stuff like that, but not to stay. And then, you know, my niece came down and I was very conscious of being there with her and hanging out with her and not really taking her around like that. So we, you know, we're doing Airbnbs and stuff like that. We, you know, just doing our own thing with a couple of young lads. You watch my vlog, you see them, you know. So we were doing all of those kind of stuff. So kind of took my mind, but you know, we'd communicate. Me and him would communicate on the phone. And like I said, a few times I pop around there, and when you see other man people, because the lads brought us round there for me to drop some stuff off one time, and he's there showing ownership, touching on me and blah blah blah, stuff like that. And I was just like, mate, cool, you know, because I ain't about that life. I ain't about that life to be having man here, man there, man everywhere. You know what I mean? So you don't have to show ownership. Now you want to touch on me, but me, you alone, you know, those comforts is nowhere to be found. So anyhow, I'm watching him because I'm thinking, my thing in my mind was that, you know, we spoke about it before I even left for Jamaica, that he's going to be like, as a man, he's going to be around me, even helping me to process, because I want to start building up my own little thing. Even when I came to the conclusion, like when he's saying he's kind of busy and stuff like that, and I allowed him for a few days to do his busy thing, and I'm thinking, yeah. 2 days or 3 days before I leave, that's when he's interested in to say, oh, you haven't come and seen me, because it's always me, making the effort, doing this, doing that, and all the rest of it. So I was just chilling. And then he just hit me like, oh, you want to see me? You want to come and see me now and make great effort 3 days before I leave back for England to come and lock in things. I mean, even though, you know, I want to be very fair, I could have gone there. I could go there anytime I want. So I'm just being clear. I could have made the effort and gone there. But I don't want them type of people in my life, in terms of like, say, me having to be doing big ones, making effort. I need to know whoever's going to come in my life, I need to know that person wants me. Like, do you know what I mean? That they're going to make the effort. And he has turned a corner in some ways for the better, but it's still not my thing. And one incident happened that made me think. I had to say to him, mate, imagine if I lived in Jamaica. How would you treat me? Because I'm seeing signs of I'd have been in the shit if I was a resident of my own country, like living there. You would have wiped the floor with me, basically. So, well, yeah, guys, like I said, when I came back and, and I realized, and I didn't know how to come and relay this to my channel and to say it out. So I wanted to say it, but, I went down in depression. You guys remember my last video that I done, was kind of coming out of it and stuff like that, and I just went back. And I'm not just saying it's the incident alone that caused that, because I'd be lying. There's other side family stuff and like financial stuff, but that had affected me, that had affected me. Even when I tell my son's dad, I can see, he says no, but I can see it just affected me. I'd rather go and do something with somebody that I know that it'd have been a bit more long term than kind of like, here I am again, showing that I'm serious, but you're not. Or if you're serious, your way of serious is like, mate, do me a favor. Your seriousness is like, really? Really? Here am I out in Jamaica protecting myself, or have to go recruit other persons to feel like I'm safe. Do you know what I mean? No, mate. No, mate. And then everything seems long and difficult. And there I was with two young people that nowhere was too far for them to go. Nothing was too hard for them to do. So in my mind, I'm thinking, mate, this is a joke. This is a joke. But I honestly, I had to wait to get to a point where I'm not in a bitter stage. I'm not bitter. I'm not bitter anymore about the whole thing, because I'm very territorial about my body, I'm very territorial. No joking. I'm not young. I'm not in my teens. I'm not in my 20s. Mate, I'm very territorial about myself. I'm not in my 30s. I'm going to be dashing myself here, there, and everywhere. You have to be serious. So that wasn't the case. And I realized, and I've, there's... It was, Like sometimes I'm thinking, oh, Rose, you're just extra. You're just extra. But actually, I'm not extra. I'm not extra, And I just I just couldn't be in the mood to vlog. I couldn't be in the mood to vlog. The one thing I love, that even if I don't do it much, is something I love doing. And I just couldn't pick up the camera, because I'm thinking, mate, I ain't coming here lardy-dying around and chatting this, that, and not chat about this. But I couldn't. I don't know what was blocking me. I don't know what was stopping me. Like I said, I didn't want to come and like portray and play a victim. I knew in the house when everything, there's me recreating t-shirt and my panties on. Mate, I knew everything that came to say, Rose, go put on clothes and keep your ass quiet. Me shut it down, me lock it down. Wasn't having none of it. Wasn't listening to it. All gun blazing, like, yeah, let's see. Let's chat about some positive points. But one of the positive points, I remember when I was down there, when he was getting, like when it was like the bereavement time, the time before this last time, and just see how he is active. I've always like that about him, you know, the activeness. I remember when they were struggling. This man struggling to bring back the music from wherever it came from. And he was struggling, and he just jumped on the car and like, just like skill like that. Those are the things sometimes I'll be sitting down watching and being like, you know, there's some good men in the world, like good men to look at. But, you know, and I literally want to say like prayer goes up because, you know, there's still a love there, like genuine love in terms of love because of, you know, you're a human being, love because I see so much beauty in you in terms of like, where other people probably don't see, but it's, you know, when you're closer to somebody, you see there's so much beauty. There's so much beauty. So it's not a bashing video or anything like that. It's just me speaking my truth and talking about some stuff that really had me walking through the valleys. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. Yeah, there's definitely beauty in you. Beauty in you. And there was another point, and I'm glad, like, I'm just sitting here reflecting. Sometimes I'll come on my channel and I'll chat things, because I remember thinking, coming and chatting, oh, yeah, there's people, but, you know, they're not worth it. Sometimes they watch that, you know, and they'll be probably thinking in their head, yeah, okay, wait till I catch you. Yeah, that's one of the thoughts that came in my head. Because sometimes people be watching my channel, you know, sometimes, like, I'm saying it as if that's not the whole purpose, guys. But I mean, watching it as in, like, you want people to watch, but you want them to watch for the positive and the enjoyment, upliftment, or, you know, or whatever come in between. But don't watch it to target me. And I feel like, or watch it to say, oh yeah, she's having a good time, so let me go and call her and torment her for something or whatever. Or if I say something on my channel, there's so many times it can have that not positive effect. And I know, because I remember like saying, you know, the only person for me, like the person that I'll be dropping everything for is my son's dad. That's the only person, because he's, you know, probably wouldn't even want to, I know he's probably watching, probably pissed off that I'm mentioning him, to be honest. But, yeah. I mean, my son dad is good. We went together. I told him, I said, mate, because when I first telling me, I feel like he was acting a bit weird. And I said, mate, how many times I said to you, take me off the market and marry me? Have I ever cheated on you? You have me here, and you'd want to just be having me, no marriage. I've warned you. So don't be looking at me when I come and tell you things. Don't be looking in my direction. I told you enough time. Yeah? So you best fix up yourself. You can't blame me. And having to like walk that journey again. This is like my second time. Having to walk that journey again, like, you know, but ain't nobody perfect. And I wanted to show that ain't nobody perfect either. Nobody perfect. So sometimes I'll step in the flames to show that ain't nobody perfect. And I don't want to be perceived, because sometimes I can be holier than thou, but I don't want to be perceived. Jesus already died for our sins. Ain't nobody perfect. And I do feel bad and sorry about it, because that's another thing I was fighting my own demons in, like punishing myself in a way as well, because I know I didn't do the right thing in terms of like, here I am saying I'm not doing sex without marriage, and they got me again. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, I was definitely fighting with that. Well, yeah, you know, I'll take my blame and I'll take my beating. And I was saying to my one of my nieces, she's so funny, such a great niece. She's like, you know, We have to take accountability for our actions, Auntie Rose. And I was like, yeah, girl. Absolutely. You know, so I very, very much want to take actions for my accountability for my actions. And, you know, I could have just mosey on, but that ain't me. I can't mosey on. Because sometimes I'm sure people be watching thinking, yeah, but it's none of our business. Why are you telling us this? This is my channel. And sometimes I like to share, you know. I don't want to feel like I'm there hiding in the corner, doing sneaky stuff and not willing to be transparent about it. So here I am being transparent. Yeah. So that was one of the things, yeah, of the sequence of events. I felt real let down by him in terms of like, men need to be men, you know. Men need to be men, and men, you don't have to be perfect, but I think men need to be men. And like, as I'm growing and have experience with men that stick it out, you know, i.e. my son's dad, that stick it out with me back and forth. I'm not saying, you know, because boy, I'm a whole lotta, but yeah, stick it out and be there. Men need to be men, man. And I know sometimes it's circumstances which turn persons. But yeah, I'm going to leave it there, guys. I mean, you're free to ask any questions. Whether I'm going to answer, I'll answer. Yeah, I'll answer. Like I said, you know, I haven't said it, but me, like now, I kind of just like want to have my channel for good things. You know, if you're asking me, you can be nosy. Like sometimes I hear people see other people on my channel and they're asking me stuff and I'm not really willing to answer. But if it's me, you know, no skin off my nose, I'm gonna answer you. So yeah, I don't know if I'm gonna dip myself, put it in the water or anything like that. I don't know, my darlings. But here, and I got my Jamaican swim costume on, and yeah, and the beach is getting busier and busier. So like, comment, share and subscribe, guys. Hopefully this is me coming back to my channel that I love so much. And yeah, comment down below your thoughts or anything, or just give us a thumbs up, guys. And yeah, hope you all out there are doing well and feeling blessed and highly favored. And no matter what you're going through, just try and pick yourself up, because like I said, it's already done. Jesus has died for our sins, and we can't do away with ourselves when we make mistakes. And love and love alone. Love alone. You know, I wanna do, like, be my vibrant self. You know, I have to be shying away so much for different reasons. I wanna be me. You know, say anything you get, it's just rose. It's layers and layers of rose. Blessings and love, everyone. Bye for now.